Hey, what's up everyone? This video we are looking at a lineup review for PGA. Anytime you have a takedown, whether it be big or small, I think it's pretty important to go back and just look at it. Just to know like where you were right, where you kind of got lucky, and maybe build on it for the next time you have a takedown or the next time you have a sweat. So doing a lineup review for PGA was a fun weekend. This lineup was actually in first after round one, first after round two, second after round three, and then obviously ended up first after round four. A bit stressful at the end with Cantlay. If Rahm ends up winning, then I do not finish in the top five. A lot of people, Rahm was 40% owned in this tournament, but it was a monster on FanDuel. Contest selection is always going to be important. If you have the money, it's going to be, your odds of winning are a lot higher if you play with less people. Like, it finished 199th with over 15,000 entrants in the $3. I made 5 times my money back, which is still fine. But if you want to get those big takedowns, you're going to have to get lucky and play smaller fields just so you can, you're not having to beat thousands and thousands of people, especially if you just rolled out one lineup like I did. So in this video, I'm just going to show you guys like kind of my approach to this and kind of what I did. I do not consider myself a PGA expert. I know a good amount of the players. I know which players are good, which players are bad, like Paul Casey. I'll never play him because he cannot putt to save his life. And I know to kind of avoid some of the chalk plays in PGA just because anything can happen in PGA. So basically, I'll just show you guys how I ended up with this build. So what I like to do is I like to look back at recent tournaments. It's always important in PGA when it's kind of a sport where guys are hot, they tend to stay hot. If guys are cold, they tend to stay cold. So looking back at the most recent tournament before this was the CJ Cup. You see Schauffele was second in this. He had a chance to win, ended up finishing behind Kokrak by 2 shots, but he was in contention to win 66, 64, 74, which kind of killed him in round 3, and then a 66 to end it. But he's been playing great. Like in this, well, just looking at the CJ Cup, he's had Schauffele finish second. You had Sebastian Munoz, who have been playing a ton ever since he won me some money as round 1 leader, and the Sanderson Farm's been playing him. Even before that, I've been playing him, but Munoz never gets a lot of ownership. He was only 7% owned in this, 7.2% owned. Never gets ownership. He's always just a really high birdie maker. He makes a ton of birdies. He makes some bogeys too, but his putting has been spectacular, and he can make putts from like 30, 40 feet, which is always going to give you at least a chance to make a birdie on basically every hole. So I like Munoz, how he's been playing. He finished 9th in the CJ Cup. If you go before that, in some recent tournaments at the Shriners Hospital, you had some of these other guys finish in the top. Let's see who finished pretty good. Like Cantlay finished 8th in this tournament. You had, I don't know if Munoz was, he wasn't. He finished top 30, minus 14. Schauffele did not finish. You had Fratelli finish tied 34, minus 13. There wasn't that many big names at the Shriners. If you look back to another recent tournament, the Tour Championship, this was in September. You had Schauffele, another second finish, limited field, but still finished second. You had Munoz finished 8th with a bunch of studs. Like, this is the top end of the golfers. You have all the best golfers here. He finished 8th. He had Berger finished 15th. Just like to get guys that have been playing well. So those were the recent tournaments. And then on this course, there were 5 par 5s. Even if you look back at the U.S. Open, you had Schauffele finish 5th in that. Justin Thomas finished 8th. So a lot of these guys in this lineup have been really good recently. So that's kind of what I based it off of. The main stat that I looked at was the par 5 scoring, because there are 5 par 5s at this course. You want to get guys that can make you birdies, definitely on all the par 5s, or at least like 3 or 4 of the 5 par 5s every single round. And on this lineup, I had Schauffele, who was first in 2020 in par 5 scoring. You had Justin Thomas, who was third, Cantlay 4th, Berger 4th. So 4 of the 6 guys that I have finished in the top 4 in par 5 scoring, which was super important. Then you also had Munoz, who was top 50. Just the way he's been playing is what I have played Munoz. He was top 45 in this, and then Fratelli's not the Fratelli also top 100, so that was fine too. And then tee to green is also always important. 2020, Justin Thomas was the best in the world at that. Number 1, you had Schauffele top 10, Cantlay top 15, Berger 15. So those are the two main stats that I used for making this lineup. And the first thing I did was put in Schauffele, as like 40% of the field did. It was a bit scary because he had, his third and fourth round, he made a bunch of birdies to kind of save it. But after round two, it was kind of ugly. He had two triple bogeys, which sucked. Kind of prevented him from finishing inside the top 10. But everybody in this lineup finished tied for 17th or better, even in round fours where Munoz finished with an eagle. All right, finished with a even par. For Kelly, finished with just -2. So on a day where a lot of guys had like -5, -6, -7, still kind of got a bit lucky that thanks to their first 3 rounds, Fratelli and Munoz didn't kill me with their pretty poor round 4 performances. But Fratelli had got no bogey from him. Cantlay didn't have any bogeys until that final round. But yeah, it was a fun day. Anytime you have a takedown, it's always fun. Always sweating, especially if it's a multiple day sweat. That's the first one I've had. So I am happy, very happy about this. And I will probably make some PGA videos maybe going forward. Maybe not this week because there's not that many good golfers in the field, but definitely for Augusta, I got some big tournaments. So maybe we can get another blink or another bink. So that is it. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed.